Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us to our today's webinar around Microsoft Azure. I hope that everyone can hear me okay. So today we will be talking around Microsoft Azure with one of our top cloud partners called IM Group, and I'm hoping that by the end of the webinar you will be able to understand more about what Azure is and what it can do for you and really how it can help your charity. As a reminder, we are also having another online webinar next Wednesday on the 28th of May around Dynamics CRM with another of our partners. So just a quick introduction about who's who on the call and within the non-profit team at Microsoft. So it's myself. My name is Ivana Vokrinkova, and I'm one of the charities account managers. And I also have my colleague Eve Joseph, who is another business manager. And on the call today, we also have Jerry Pang, who is one of our Azure Technology Solutions specialists around the cloud. And from IM Group, I would like to welcome Michael Raja, who is one of their account managers for the non-profit, and also Mitesh Chauhan, who is the Azure Technical Specialist, and he will be doing the presentation today. Okay, so by the end of the webinar today, we really hope that you will be able to understand what the benefits are around Microsoft Azure and really give you a good insight into where you can start adopting Microsoft Public Cloud Services. And Mitesh will also be able to share some of the best practices. So these are some of our customers in the public sector space. I believe that as a Microsoft, we've got over 50% of Fortune 500 customers. Some of them are the likes of EasyJet, Marks and Spencers, but I've just picked a few of the ones in the public sector. So you can see, for example, the Environmental Agency. They do have one of their flood alerts applications hosted on Azure that is providing real-time information to the governments and people alike. And also perhaps let's pick up the National Lifeboat Institution, who also have an emergency alert that is being hosted on Azure. And after the call, I'm happy to follow up with more customers scenarios that you can read in your own time. So I will now hand over to Mitesh from IM Group, and he will be able to give you the presentation. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for attending everyone. My name is Mitesh, I work at IM Group. Just here to give you a quick overview on Azure and hopefully see how it can help you benefit your business and save money. So we'll have a quick look at security, and we'll have a look at infrastructure, storage, how Azure can be used for test and development, disaster recovery, and also how our customers are using Azure to extend their current data center. Also, if you've got time at the end, we can do a quick demo of what it looks like and how we can fire up some VMs. And if you've got any questions, we'll put them at the end of the slides, please. So just an idea of the size of Azure. We've got 16 data centers all around the world. You can select which data center you want to use, so ideally the one that's closest to you, help you provide, so generally we've got 2 in each region to help you with disaster recovery as well. So choose the closest one for latency as well for your users. And there's some stats on this side as well, but we'll be sending these slides out as well. So if we move on to the next one. So a little bit about security. So Azure data centers are compliant with some of these industry standards on this side. The way people connect to Azure is generally through secure VPN channels, using strong encrypted AES 256, private shared keys, and others. There's also now just released recently something called Express Route. So that's akin to a dedicated leased line to another data center. So you may have similar leases between your data centers, but this BT now offer a service here that we can link directly to Azure data centers to give you low latency links, so they'll be highly secure. So they're only for your traffic, so it's not going over the internet at all. Also, recently, the Azure data centers is probably the only service provider who now meets the EU data protection regulations as well, so which are really tough, probably the toughest in the world. And there's some links at the end of this to read more about that. So it's just to show you how seriously Microsoft takes security. If we look at some of the infrastructure services. So as we mentioned, you can extend your data center to pretty much give you unlimited capacity for virtual servers, storage, and you can provision services as and when you need them, as little or as much as you want, pretty much instantly. You can also move virtual machines to and from Azure. Microsoft also provide a 99.95% uptime SLA. That's a financially backed SLA for virtual machines. If you've got highly available service running on virtual machines architected correctly, so it's very resilient, the data centers. Also, one of the key advantages of Azure is you get full end-to-end support from the infrastructure platform right through to the Microsoft applications that are sitting on the service providers. You've got the right support contracts in place as well, so you have a one-stop shop. So currently we've got clients ourselves, such as Mighty, who are looking to Azure to move away from their current data center provider, and they're estimating around 60% year-on-year cost savings. And we'll look at how to calculate your cost savings in the next few slides. Okay, so a little bit about storage and disaster recovery. So many customers use Azure storage for various reasons. So you've got secure, again, as I mentioned, unlimited capacity and reliable storage. So the reliable part pertains to how Azure stores your data. So it's all encrypted, and it's also stored in triplicate within the data center. There's also an option to geo-replicate that storage, so you could have your storage replicated to the other data center, generally in the same, in a different region, to provide disaster recovery protection for your data as well. And also for archiving, secure offsite archiving. So people are tending to move away from traditional tape backups and sending them to a third party, because you can pretty much retrieve your data a lot quicker, and it's just as secure, and it is offsite. And this tends to be cheaper than traditional SAN storage as well, so you can just bolt on as much storage as you need. Example use cases of that could be a charity, so the Royal Society for Protection of Birds. It's one of the customers using Azure to store all their data around the flight migration paths of all the birds, as well as photographs. So they need all these photographs, and they don't delete them ever. So it's not a case of, well, we need them for a certain amount of years. There's a lot of charities and such that don't delete their data. So Azure provides a good cost-effective archiving solution for that kind of use case. Other things to talk about here for disaster recovery, you can have, if you've got private clouds configured, so basically a set of VMs creating a service for your on-prem data center, so using the Microsoft System Center suite of products, you can use Azure to provide disaster recovery for your on-prem virtual machines into Azure as well, so you don't have the additional cost of having to maintain a disaster recovery data center if you choose not to. One of the services provided is StoreSimple to provide secure cloud integrated storage. So that is a device that sits within a data center or your data center, and this treats your storage. It's got multiple tiers, so you can have tier 1 storage, which may be SSD for local fast storage, and for medium to long term, it will securely store that into Azure. for your applications or file shares even. So it's kind of, it does this intelligent in the background, as in it can figure out which data it needs to archive and which one's actually hot, as they call it. So this gives you the speed of on-prem storage and the capacity and cost benefits of storage within the cloud. And again, it's generally cheaper than standard SAN storage. Let's see, I think we've got some examples coming up soon. Just move on to that one. So some example use cases of customers using the Store Simple device are for storing asset management data, and again, storage of photos and videos, even for long-term storage, and content that will always grow and never be deleted. So you've got pretty much an unlimited storage capacity to store all this data, such as tracking donations and sales. And as we mentioned, it's off-site and it's secure. And it's replicated internally within a data center and geo-replicated if you want it across 2 data centers. So if we look at how to get started with it, so Microsoft offer a free 1-month trial, which gives you £130 of Azure compute resources to spend for the first month. And so that you can get up and running and try it out if you like for free. The way to purchase it, the most cost-effective way, is through an Azure enterprise agreement, and now that applies to all organizations, whether it's a government or private sector. There is no specific public sector or not-for-profit program. So the best way is to use an enterprise agreement, and that will give you 30% off the pay-as-you-go prices. One of the features is, for example, for the virtual machines, you only pay by the minute as well, rather than per hour. So if you only use a virtual machine for 45 minutes, you only pay for 45 minutes. Also, developers get a chance to use it. So if your developers have got an MSDN subscription, they can receive up to £100 free credits to use in Azure for their test and development environments, depending on the level of MSDN subscription they've got. And there's a link down here as well for a free trial if you want to give it a go. So just a little bit more information about the enterprise agreement for you. So it was previously only pay as you go, so those prices were a bit higher than the enterprise agreement, or 30% higher. So recently we've now got an enterprise agreement option, and we've also recently decreased the prices of the storage as well. In May, the storage was done, but the VMs are they're always getting lower, they seem to be. So the best way to figure out what your enterprise agreement might look like is to use the calculator. So there's a link below, and from there you can use the full calculator or a specific component. So you could, over here we've got an example of, so if I want to run 2 medium-sized virtual machines, basic, which means that I don't need load balancing or anything, the cost would be £142 a month. If I wanted 2 terabytes of data stored securely and resilient across 2 data centers, so very highly available storage, we're looking at around £114 per month. And these prices are pay-as-you-go prices. So if you add an enterprise agreement, excuse me, if you had an enterprise agreement, you can knock 30% off that. So you could use this to calculate what your annual spend might be. So an enterprise agreement is a 1-year commitment. It's a 3-year program, and you commit to a certain value for the first year, and you can use these calculators to help you figure out what that value is. And in year 2, you can change the value up or down. If you go over that amount in year 1, you still get the same discount. So we've got on the IM Group website, we've got several case studies at this address. One of the ones we've done Well, we've done several. So we've done video streaming as well. So a global company, they do on-demand data, video streaming, a bit like YouTube, but for a corporate environment. So for an enterprise, and they use Azure to store all the video and all the local global caching available in that to stream video on demand within their organization. One that we've recently finished is a SharePoint 2013 BI customer portal for Northgate Vehicle Hire, and that's running on virtual machines within Azure, and it's all architected to be highly available, and customers can access it over the internet and gain information about their accounts. So there's more details on this link here. And that's it for my slides. So we can hand you over to Jerry, who'll give you a little bit more info about the Azure offering, and then we can possibly take some questions. Or I'll hand you over. And yeah, and a demo if we've got time at the end. Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Pang, and I'm the Azure Specialist aligned to public sector here at Microsoft. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of Azure Service Comparison in comparison to our friends at AWS Systems. Just waiting for that slide to load. It should be showing. So as Mitesh mentioned just now, we have faster, more resilient storage on Azure when compared to AWS. So this is an independent fact based on reports by a company called I think some people are having problems seeing the slides. All right, good stuff. So Masuni compiled an independent report comparing us to AWS, and when we talked about storage in terms of read-write speeds, resilience, and security, we were certainly better than the competing solution. And you can download that particular report from the independent website when you have a chance. We're the best cloud provider for security and transparency, again, independently verified, and we can provide our customers with audit reports from the likes of Deloitte and Ernst & Young, and these are annual audits, and we can provide those to our customers under NDA. In terms of transparency, we're, as Mitesh mentioned, we are ISO 27001. We have IL2 accreditation as well, and we can feed back data as to how often the NSA, for instance, have requested data from Microsoft. And in fact, in comparisons to other cloud providers, again, a recent independent survey found that Microsoft is the most transparent cloud provider in terms of security and transparency. And again, we can provide you with links to these independent reports as well. I mean, this isn't just us blowing our own trumpets, it's someone else blowing our trumpets for us, so that's really nice. So end-to-end Microsoft support, as Mitesh mentioned earlier. So we cover the whole stack from the OS right through to the application. So in Azure, we're concerned with, of course, infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. So looking at the next point, better hybrid solutions. So at Microsoft, we talk about a hybrid cloud or the cloud OS. So if you followed any Microsoft marketing over the last couple of years, you would have seen how with a cloud OS, if you're using Hyper-V as your hypervisor, then the VHDX files are completely portable between your on-premises solution and Azure. And even if you're on VMware, it really is quite easy to transpose those VMs to Azure. And when we talk about hybrid solutions, we also talk about Active Directory, spanning Active Directory into Azure, either hosted on a VM or leveraging Microsoft Azure Active Directory Federation services to give you single sign-on to not just Microsoft cloud-based applications, but over 1,000 third-party applications as well. And, we're best developed test solution. If you have limited resources for dev and test on premises, why not just leverage Azure to spin up VMs for dev and test? Because as previously mentioned, you only pay for what you use. So you can delegate and apportion time to your developers to say, okay, you guys, you can only use these VMs for dev and test between the hours of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and those VMs are unfortunately not available to you during the weekends, and you can see who is using what resources at what time as well. We're the best platform for Microsoft apps and databases, of course, so we completely support SQL Server. We support Hadoop as well, so we have HD Insights, which is our big data solution, which leverages Hadoop for that data mining. But not only that, we also support the likes of Linux, Oracle, and SAP now. So you may have seen the recent announcement just a couple of days ago, which means that as of June, we will be fully supporting SAP in Azure now. And not only Linux and Oracle, we support Ubuntu as well. And the list of platforms which we support in Azure is growing all the time. And further information, you can find out more about us versus our competition by visiting Windows Azure via Amazon on the following links, and various scenarios there for free trials. And if you're concerned about security, please do visit the Trust Center. But I'm sure Ivana can forward you my contact details. So if you do have any questions, I'm available to address any issues or any questions you may have. But I think one of the best ways forward is to have a deeper dive engagement involving ourselves and our partners such as IM Group, where we can come and visit you, or you can come and visit us here at Thames Valley Park, and we can really show you how to best make the most of your investment in Azure. Thank you for attending. At this point, I can